online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Fred Muth coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Just one moment coming up there. And before we do, a couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. We like to feature our listings on air. Strategy helps our sellers sell faster for more money. And we got a property here at 7202 US Highway 301 South in Riverview. And this one's a commercial property. Now, I want to remind you, we do vacant land. We sell vacant land, commercial and residential properties. This one is a parcel that is a corner lot location, Riverview, Florida. You have a muffler shop, a mechanic shop there, and also a barber shop, which could be easily converted into a mortgage or insurance, title, real estate company there. Corner lot location, 7202 US Highway 301 South in Riverview. And you can see all of our real estate listings at platinumcoastalelite.com.
Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road.
Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Welcome back to the show.
Hello, Brandon. How's everything over there?
Oh, doing great. Thank you. And yourself?
Great. I got to get back into that studio. You know, I keep talking about it. Don't think I'm a procrastinator. I just have too many reasons why I haven't been able to get in. I do miss the studio.
Yeah,
I will
man.
be back. I'll be back. Who said that?
Yes, that's right. That's the Terminator guy, right?
Yeah. Hey, being a consumer show, we us contractors, we don't know it all, and we're constantly learning. I'd like to share something with you that two instances that just happened on a couple of projects in the city of Tampa. And I always mention the city of Tampa. I signed up this screen enclosure, and beautiful home, South Tampa, and the homeowner had spent a lot of money on artificial turf throughout the entire property. Not only him, but his neighbor did the same thing. And I'm going to tell you, you pull up, and it really enhances the property. Very, very nice. So we go to get the permit for the cage. Can't get the permit because that particular product, artificial turf, that is not considered as green space, even though it percolates. And the entire property is covered on the outside with this turf, so there is no green space available. Meaning that we're not going to get the permit for this cage, and green space has to be minimum 25% of the overall property, so that you're preserving the looks, the integrity. Of course, green space is for other reasons as well. However, a lot of money was spent on this, and the homeowner's going to have to pull a lot of it up. Not only that, if we can't get the permit for the cage, regardless whether he pulls it up or not, the city may fine him because that went in and violated a green space agreement. And
wow.
I just learned this. I don't know if you ever come across that on the real estate end, but I like to get it out there on the radio so people need to know if they're going to put artificial turf in. Check with the city, check how much you can install, and check to see if you need a permit to put in the artificial turf. Most likely you will.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I just got a new listing yesterday, and it has artificial turf in the backyard, and it's a nice look, especially when you have lots of tree cover. You're not going to have a lot of good sod or seed that's going to take place, so you're going to have a hard time maintaining a lawn back there if you have too much tree cover. But this gives you that nice outside space. And as you mentioned, it does percolate pretty well. Is that right, Fred?
It does percolate, sure. It's porous, and I mean even when I went to the job site, because a footer's got to go in, and I made sure I pulled some of it up to see how porous it was, and water's going to go right through that, but porous material doesn't add to green space, and a lot of people are under the impression that it does.
Wow. Didn't realize that. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you create that in-between space, your pool rooms, your pool screens, rather, your lanais, your porches. And talk a little bit about the product, Fred. You guys have awesome product there.
The product that we supply, we are a contractor that builds on site. We custom build. We're not a prefab company. And at one point in my life, I sold some prefab jobs for another company, and there's pros and cons. But I like the on-site product better. It's extremely more precise. Our guys that build them, they absolutely know what they're doing. They come out and they custom build on site. it may take 3, 4, 5 days in some cases to build the cage, whereas if it's a prefab product that we don't supply, that gets built in a factory and it comes out and it can go up in some cases 1 or 2 days. But in my opinion, and I strictly say my opinion, the precision is different between the prefab and the build-on-site products. That's one thing. And another thing I like to talk about is the open views. I don't like to say panoramic view in every case, but people will say, I need a panoramic view cage. Well, in theory, a panoramic view is all sides open, whereas open view, which is the majority of them that go in, are basically open on the back end. I can take, say, I did one down here in Riverview. It was a 75-foot wide cage. And on the river, and he had 10 openings on the old cage. We took the old cage away, and we put a new cage up with 3 openings in the back, 3 25-footers, so that you can look back and see more of an open view to see the river. On the sides, we can open them up as well, but in most cases, we just eliminate the chair rail on the sides, where the screen goes from top to bottom. There's no mid-rail at 36 inches high to interrupt the view, and that's a good look, in my opinion. It costs less money to do that as opposed to panoramic all the way around. When you open up all sides of a cage, it drives the cost up significantly because the structure is different than a standard screen wall. But boy, we're getting a lot of these. I'm probably taking 4 or 5 calls a week right now for cages to be eliminated. The old cage eliminated and a new cage put up with an open view. And if I were to buy a cage in today's world, no matter what the backdrop on the house or on the property, I think I would go with open view on the back. It's just a very good look. It just makes you feel less claustrophobic when you're in the cage. You see a lot of them, don't you, in your real estate business?
Oh yeah, we love them, man. It just adds that value. It adds a great value to the property. It's going to help the pool area. You're going to help keep out the bugs, and yeah, just a great opportunity. I love that. And Tampa Screens and Aluminum, longtime friend of the show, folks. Reach out to Fred Muth at Tampa Screens and Aluminum for all of your aluminum needs and these beautiful in-between spaces, adding value to the home. Fred, about a minute left, man. Final thought, back to you.
Final thought. I use that term all the time, the in-between space. And I've already gone to job sites, and people come up to me and they say, "Hi, Fred, glad to meet you. We heard you on the show." In-between space. So keep it up, Brandon. Keep it up. It's working. I went to my doctor yesterday. I had an exam, and he says to me, he goes, "Hey, I heard you on the radio."
Nice. I love
it.
So
your radio show gets out there. It's very good. I get a lot of good leads from the radio show. What's nice is when I walk in, and I don't know that the lead came from the show or not, I walk into the house, people say, "Yes, you're the guy I heard on the radio." And it's almost a done deal when I walk in. So sometimes it works out pretty good. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be on your show many years ago.
I love it, buddy. And it was great to see some of our listening audience at the Third Thursday event, Brio Tuscan Grill. And hopefully we'll see them there again on the 18th coming up this month. So Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, keep up the good work out there, man.
You got it. See you on the 18th.
All right. Hey, another great show. We had Martine Gramatica with Lifeguard Imaging offering that free heart scan. Make sure you get that free heart scan. Attorney Frank Miranda and, of course, Fred Muth, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, brandonR.